Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Magically Cruising, the cruise podcast where we share our personal cruise tips and reviews to help you make the most out of your next sailing. My name's Kieran, I'm an independent travel agent specialising in all things cruise, Disney and North America, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I write cruise and vlog cruise over at Mini Travellers on YouTube and website, and over on TikTok.
And today, Sarah, is a topic that I've kind of badgered you about for about a year, I think now. I keep bringing this episode up. I'm like, one day we're going to do it. One day. So you finally give it to me. And today we're going to talk about one of my favourite reasons for sailing the Caribbean, at least anyway, is cruise ship private islands.
Yep. Which I've never... Oh, no, I have been on one once for 10 minutes.
Well, this is why we thought it'd be an interesting topic, because I think we're both totally opposite sides of the scale of it, type of thing. I'm very much drawn to a private island experience. I love them. I've been very fortunate to do, checks notes, I think 3 of them now, and they're 3 that are regarded as like the best in the industry at the moment. And obviously you personally, as much as you've done more Caribbean sailing than me, you're not particularly a fan of Caribbean private islands either.
No, neither of us have booked a cruise ever thinking, always a private island. In fact, we avoid those sailings.
See, our first ever Disney cruise, we booked it, not purposely, we booked it because it was a Disney cruise, but I can't lie that, having Castaway Cay, that was a big part of the reason as well. And the sheer excitement that I had as we were kind of backing into Castaway Cay, and my friend who works for Disney was like, pick this cabin because you're going to be in the right place to see the island as you're pulling in, type of thing. And I was literally hanging out of the cabin on the balcony like, oh my God, it's there, I can see it. We're in the private island, it's amazing. And I just thoroughly loved it. And then I've also done Bimini Beach Club, which isn't a private island per se. It's a beach club on Bimini, owned by Virgin Voyages. So I've done the beach club at Bimini, and I've also done Perfect Day CocoCay with Royal Caribbean as well, which I think is my favorite, but I don't know whether or not I've been persuaded because we were hosted on that trip, so we had a cabana in the beach club, so we had kind of VIP experience on that one, and because Royal paid for the Waterpark for us as well, so very much like my entire perception is I had a lovely day and I didn't pay a penny for it. So I'm not sure if that's weighing into it, but I do think the amenities on that island definitely make it one of the best in the Caribbean so far that I've been on, and the ones I've seen as well.
I suppose as well, because the only private island I've been on, there were too many ships in. It was hammered. You couldn't even sit down. It was stressful. You couldn't even get a drink. So,
really? And
that was on NCL's private island. And I mean, I've talked about this all the time. I don't like sand anyway. So that straight away, I'm already not up for it. But I probably would do Perfect Day. And I love Puerto Plata. And the reason I love that is because it's got the pool and the shops and there's no one pushing you about. Like Mexico, they're in your face and I hate that. But in Puerto Plata, they were very much, it was respectful, friendly, a really good vibe. So if it's like that, I probably would like it. But then in my mind, I'm always comparing that to getting off somewhere like Key West where, and all right, I know that's not the Caribbean, but it's South Florida. But then that to me is the vibe I want. So, but then I've not tried it and they say don't knock it till you try it, don't they?
I think that's the thing as well. Like Perfect Day CocoCay is very much a beach. It is a beach island resort. And I think some of the earlier private islands or private beach clubs, they were very much beach resorts. So like Labadee, you've got, is it Half Moon Cay or Half Moon Cay, which is I think the celebrity one, or celebrity, I forgot, not celebrity, sorry, Princess. They own one with all their brands as well. Like they are beach facing. So yeah, very much they are private little beach clubs on the beachfront. Nowadays, I think this kind of did start, to be honest, with Perfect Day CocoCay. They've now turned them into kind of resorts ultimately, where they have, like you say, the private pools as well as the beachfront. So you get best of both worlds. Like Perfect Day CocoCay is a beach, that's it. So if you're a fan of sand, you're perfectly fine. You're going to love it. But if you don't like sand, you can't avoid it. You are on pretty much a sandy beach. So I think that's what helped me, even though I spent, actually that's a lie, I did go into the beach club pool for a little bit, but I think I liked Perfect Day because I had the Waterpark, the waterslides, and there is a kind of, I think it's sea salt water, but there is a water pool, if you get what I mean, and there's the giant pool front with the swim-up bars. I think it gives you the best of both vibes. If you want to sit on the beach front and watch the waves slapping by, you can do that. But equally, if you hate sand, you can also go to the other side of the island as well.
And the other thing that really puts me off is when you see people and they're like, right, 7 o'clock, right, run to get a sunbed. And it's like, already, I'm not bothered. So I think that, and this comes back to the thing that we've discussed in the last few weeks off the podcast, whether as much as I love cruising, there's elements of it that I don't love as much anymore because of the crowds. And it's like, I love it. And when I'm on the ship, I have the best time in the world. But in my mind before, stuff like the private islands, I'm not seeing the culture that I wanted to see.
Yeah, it's a funny one because there's a big debate in the community, isn't there, about whether or not the private islands are kind of artificial holidays, if you get what I mean. And obviously more and more and more now, this is what the industry's moving towards as well. Like Royal are aggressive with their pace now. They're building Perfect Day Mexico. They're building the beach club in Nassau. Like this is the business plan now. They're building more and more private beach club resorts, and it's obviously to create that curated royal experience. But then, are you actually visiting a destination? Are you going off and exploring and seeing the culture? If all you're doing is going to an extension of your cruise ship. Obviously, there's the cynical revenue side of that, whereby the cruise lines are doing it because they make more money. If you're in their experiences, you're more likely to spend more money with them rather than spend it locally, which again has an economic impact locally as well.
But then again, we've got to look at, well, again, this is something that we talked about last week. These ships are so big that people are starting to say, no, you can't stop here.
Yeah.
So they've got to put them somewhere. And if they want to sell those ships that are so big. Now, Mexico, I get, because honest to God, I will never, I hated it. That's a really strong word.
I know,
but I felt threatened in the port.
Yeah.
It was, and there was like a Hooters bar, and they weren't topless, but it's like, where? I'm there with my boys and they're like, oh, can we go in? I'm like, well, what is that? And I was like, no, you can't, because those women, all right, they've chose to work there, but what if, I just don't agree with the whole...
It's not a family destination though, is it? Yeah, no, it's not a family destination.
No, I know they're adults, but the bottom line is, like, I feel it's a bit degrading and people might disagree with that. And if you like Hooters, then good on you. But it's not, I don't agree with the concept. But that was in the port. And then there's like the Signora Frogs and everyone's drinking yards of beer and missing the ship because they're so drunk. It's just not my culture. And maybe that's the Caribbean thing. Because obviously when you cruise Italy, you don't get that, do you?
I kind of like that culture, but I like it when it's curated. And I think that's kind of where you're getting to a little bit type of thing of, when we did, and Disney's a very unique cruise line anyway. Disney attracts a very different clientele. You're not going on Disney to get drunk. You can, but it's not a booze cruise ship, if you get what I mean, because it's just a very different type of cruise. So we're talking about the whole thing about like culture versus experience and resort experience. I think there's no denying, is there, that these private beach club resorts or these private island resorts are very much an extension of the cruise bubble, and you're not really going to have the authentic kind of cultural experience as much as kind of Perfect Day Mexico has a giant sombrero and it looks like all the artwork is inspired, Lighthouse Point by Disney. It's all very much got kind of the bohemian culture brought into it. It's a very curated, filtered version of that authentic experience, and you're trading that authentic experience for something curated. But as you've said, kind of go into someone like Mexico, whereby you're getting harassed the second you get off the ship by people trying to sell you and bombard you and trying to get you to go into the local franchise for the local version of Senior Frogs or whatever. Is that actually an authentic experience anyway?
No, exactly. No, you're right. And I will never book a cruise to Mexico again. It's just like an absolute 100% no.
Really?
Because and anything you want to see in Mexico that would be of use is at the other side of the island. So it's not like you can even go and say, I'm going to see the real Mexico, because it's a 12 or 9-hour trip. So but saying that, I love cruising the Caribbean. I mean, Fort Lauderdale and Miami have just been highlights of travel the last 2 years. And I think sometimes you've got to embrace the islands as maybe a chill and a retreat away from the snow and the bad weather. And I think that's the way that,
at least,
I sold the last cruise to Chris, was because he's like, it's just another beach. And I was like, yeah, but it's another beach in the sun when it's snowing here.
Exactly, yeah.
And
especially for a winter cruise, isn't it?
I loved it. It's my favourite place I've ever been outside Europe, I think.
That's the thing. Like, we're going to Walt Disney World February coming because I wanted that something to look forward to in the winter because of how bad I got affected by SAD. But also, like, January in the travel industry is just tough. It's really tough. So I was like, I need something to look forward to. So knowing that I'm going to be in Disney, Florida, in the warm, definitely appeals to me. We are contemplating, we've got a kind of 4-day window at the end of it that we have booked a room at Disney, but we can cancel it, and we are debating whether or not to fit in a 3-day Disney cruise over the weekend, the Friday to Monday, and do one of their private island cruises where literally you go to Nassau, and then I can't remember which island. It depends on which ship we get. One of them goes to go to Castaway Cay, or the other one goes to their new island, Lightout Point.
So how long are you in Disney for then? A week?
So now 10 days. We were originally going for 7 days, and this was all signed off by the husband months ago. And then we were having a conversation about a month ago, and he was like, oh, why are we only going for 7 days? There's no point in flying long haul for 7 days. I was like, No, I agree with you. That's why when I asked you, should we go for longer? You said no, because we can't afford it. Let's do 7 days. And now all of a sudden he's got a problem with going for 7 days. So we're now doing 10 days.
Do you know what though? I'd go and spend 3 days at Universal.
Well, that's where the conversation came from, basically. We were talking about Epic Universe, and I was like, well, we haven't done Velocicoaster, we haven't done Hagrid's, we haven't done this. And he was like, oh, that's almost 2 days gone already then, go into Universal. I'm like, well, that's why I said, should we do longer? And you said, no, because we can't afford it. Let's do 7 instead. And now we haven't got enough time, so we're now going for 10 days instead, which I'm obviously happy about, but yeah.
I think you and Phil would like the Adventurer. I think you'd love that.
Oh, the Adventura Hotel.
Yeah, I'm thinking of booking that.
Yeah. We've talked about it before, and we probably should do more talk about Florida. We have had an off-the-record conversation of me about whether or not we expand the podcast a little bit, because we love talking about Disney and Florida. But we've got the Vacation Club, the Disney Vacation Club, so technically we're using our timeshare to stay in Disney, so it's quite easy for us to get our hotel stays in Disney. But there is a debate, like I say, about whether or not to add on a cruise. It's just this... It's making the holiday more expensive, considering we have a lot of expensive cruises booked next year already.
Oh, it's tough, isn't it? Being a traveller.
Being spoiled for choice.
So what tips would you give anybody then that wanted to go? Because obviously I can't give anyone any tips apart from stay on the ship. But...
Yeah, it depends really on what you're looking to get out of the island. I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. Of you've got 2 different camps on it. Ultimately, it depends on the island you're going to as well. Obviously, Castaway Cay is going to be very different than going to Perfect Day CocoCay in general because of what's available at both. But I guess maybe we should backtrack a little bit and just talk about what is included or what is the experience like in general. I think because a lot of people have a lot of questions of like, how do I pay for things? What's included? Is food included? Whatnot? And in general, across the board for all the private islands I'm aware of, at least anyway, your drinks package follows you on all of them, apart from Celebration Cay, the new one by Carnival. Don't know why. I don't sell much Carnival, so I'm not an expert in it. But for some reason, your drinks package doesn't go on land with you for Celebration Cay. But for Perfect Day CocoCay, Castaway Cay, it doesn't anyway, because there isn't a drinks package. And when I done Bimini Beach Club, your bar tab can be spent on land as well. So any money you've put on your bar tab can also be spent in Bimini Beach Club as well. If you've got Rockstar level, then you've got the unlimited drinks with your Rockstar. That will also follow you onto land as well. So that's one great big perk. And your food's included as well. But
that isn't going to be on all the new ones, is it? Because the Bahamas one, it doesn't follow you, does it?
No, and I don't know about Perfect Day Mexico. I haven't done much research into that. But definitely no. For the Royal Beach Club in Nassau, that one doesn't. That one's running very differently for some reason, but I think it's because it's so limited. It's not as big as Perfect Day, so the whole ship can't fit into the new beach club.
Right.
So it is going to sell to a certain capacity, basically, but they are selling it as a day pass. So you pay for a day pass, and it does include a drinks package when you purchase your day pass. If you purchase the shipboard drinks package, you get a discount off the price for purchasing your day pass to the beach club, but you can't book it without a drinks package.
I wonder if this is a tax thing, as in, because people pay to go to Atlantis. So if they're not going to Atlantis and they're going there and it's free, then maybe the island are saying, hang on, you're taking money away from the island. So maybe that's where that's come from. Because it just seems like a really bizarre move to me. So then there's got to be a motive. People will pay it and people will do it because people love the private islands.
And the quality of what Royal are building on their private islands is amazing. Like, you know, the what you get for that money, it is a lot of money. And I think I saw something like a day pass is about $100 and something. It's not cheap to go there for the day. And as you've mentioned in the past, like you are questioning, well, what's the point though when you can do everything? It's a pool and it's a food and it's drink, which is all available already for you in your kind of cruise. It's just another experience type of thing, and everyone's going to have a different opinion. So a lot of these people who are going to be booking these experiences are the ones who are going to be doing the 3-4 night cruises. They're not people who are looking to go off and explore the culture and destination immersion. They are on a kind of all-inclusive holiday. It's kind of like where we go to Tenerife or Benidorm. That's the type of people who are going to be going on these 3-4 night cruises, if you get me. They're just looking to get away on an all-inclusive and enjoy their time by a pool. So for them, it's just another, like booking a beach club in Ibiza or something like that. So
explain Perfect Day to me then, because, I mean, as I say, I don't know loads about it, but I know that you have to pay extra for the water parks, don't you? And so is there anything free for families, or is it just the drinks and the pool? What is extra?
Yeah, so basically Perfect Day is split up into technically 2, but there is a third area to it. So you've got kind of the chill side, they call it, and thrill side. So if you go to kind of the chill island, that's where the beach is, or that's where the large pool is, if you get what I mean. So that there is totally free. You can obviously, sun lounges are included. You just kind of find one that's free, make your stake for the day, and that's it then. You can kind of just relax by the pool. There's obviously loads of like beach games, so you can find a volleyball court hidden away around different parts of the island. There's table tennis. There's all that type of stuff if you wanted to. There's floaties available. There's just lots of like water activities there as well. You then also have Thrill Island, which is where this giant devil, if you're watching the video version anyway, that's what's behind me, is Perfect Day CocoCay. The Thrill Island and I think it's called Devil's Peak or Devil's Summit, which is the tallest water slides in North America at the moment until NCL build theirs. And that's chargeable basically. So you do have to pay for a pass to go into Thrill Island basically. It is a water park in the middle of the island. It does have kids pools in there. It has kids sliders, not just the thrill slides, the large ones, but they just call it all Thrill Island, basically. Price-wise, it can be anything. It does fluid pricing, basically, similar to how Royal do all their onboard extras. It depends on the number of ships and the size of the ships in port, basically. So if you're on one of the smaller ships and the only one in, chances are you're going to get a really low price. If you're probably going to be on Icon and there's going to be 2 Icon class ships in, you're probably going to pay more on those days, unfortunately. But you just pay for your pass and it's linked to your key cards and you just tap in them when you get there and they know you paid basically for access. But there's sun lounges in that area as well. So if you wanted to just relax inside the Thrill Island away from everyone else, you can also do that as well.
Right.
Then there's obviously cabanas. So if you wanted to, or casitas, if you wanted to book one of the casitas somewhere around the island, there's loads of them. There's one in the new adult-only area that they bought because now celebrity come to the island. There's now an adult-only area beach club as well. Plus there's the suite level beach club, which you can pay to have access to. And you can also pay to have access to a casita or a cabana in the suite area as well.
See, and that's my problem. I wouldn't want anything less than a water bungalow, which is the price of a house to buy.
It is. So, it's like $800, something like that, yeah.
No, I think it's more than that. It's the price of a small car. So that straight away prices me off that island.
Yeah.
But I'd like to try it. I'd like to try it. And I think when the boys were younger, I'd have been all over it. But because they're not now.
It's very much aimed at groups of friends. So I think like if it was me, you and Donna, we were away together, spreading the cost for like a beach cabana it is a lot of money. There's no denying. Like it's about $600 to $800 for the day. Right. But spreading that between 3 different cabins because it can hold that many people. Right. To have access to that, I think then becomes worth it. And that's what a lot of these people are doing. Now, if you're a family, then it can be quite a lot of money. But if you're a group of friends sharing the cost, then it makes it a bit more approachable type of thing. But in the case of Royals Island, anyway, Perfect Day, the beach cabin we had was inside the beach club. So it's in the kind of suite only or the private area, basically, you've got to pay to get access to. That has a pool in there as well. So you've got a kind of fresh water. I'm not sure if it's fresh. I don't know you would be fresh, but it has a water pool anyway. It's not like a beach, but it also has the beach as well. And you've got you can pay just for access just to the beach club. So you don't have to have a cabana. I don't know the price for that, sorry. But that then has like access to the bar there and the sun loungers and then the main pool. Or you can also hire one of the cabanas as well, type of thing. So you can either pay to have access to that space and use the pool area there and the beach area, or you can book one of the beach or the water villas there as well.
Right. So there's a lot to consider, isn't there, if you're going?
Mm-hmm. It's massive. There's so much space. Like, we kept walking around and we did a bit of once we finally realised there's more to the island than the areas that Royal told us to stay in, not told us, invited us to stay into. So the Thrill Island and then the beach club. We decided to all wander off and start exploring type of thing. You've got up and away, which is the captive balloon. So again, you can just about see it in the video version, but that's the giant balloon. That is chargeable. But that's the inflatable balloon that takes you up into the sky. So you get a panoramic view of the island type of thing. So that's around there. They were building new areas when we went as well onto the backside of the island. So they are planning to keep expanding the island with new kind of beach areas, new dining areas and things like that, just to kind of ensure that it stays fresh and relevant, but also as more and more bigger ships are berthing there as well, it can hold the capacity of the people go in.
Right. Okay. So what about Bimini then? So Bimini is Virgin, but other cruise lines use it, don't they?
Yes. So Bimini, the beach club at Bimini is on Resorts World basically. So the whole kind of island is available to multiple cruise ships type of thing. But when Virgin Voyages dock at Bimini, at least anyway, they get free access to the beach club at Bimini. It's a beach club ultimately right on the waterfront. So you've got the amazing access to the beach type of thing with all the sun loungers, but then you've also got access then to the pool that is part of the beach club as well. I loved Bimini. Very different vibe, obviously, because it's not aimed at families, and obviously Virgin being adult only. There's no water parks, there's no slides type of thing. It's just one humongous pool split into 2 different sections with seats all the way around the pool and then direct access to the beach as well. So you've got that incredible bohemian kind of beachfront with the stunning crystal, clear water and everything. So that was lovely to kind of go in there for a little bit. And then just to kind of literally, I spent the entire rest of the day in the pool, just floating on the floaty inflatables, being handed cocktails. It was stunning.
I think, why didn't we go? I think we just stayed on the ship that day.
If you're not on a Virgin ship and there's not a Virgin ship in, you can pay for a day pass to go there, basically.
I don't think, when we looked at it, it wasn't expensive, but Chris isn't a sitting person anyway. He gets bored. I don't know what we did. We must have done something. I can't remember. But yeah, it wasn't expensive when I looked, but then I thought, and I think I just judge it off, is everybody off the ship going to then be there and then it's going to be super busy?
It is. I didn't feel like it felt busy. I've heard other people say that, they struggle to find a beach lounger, and I was like, there's hundreds. I don't know how you could struggle based on my time there.
Yeah.
I think anything, right, with all this stuff is people would say, I didn't get a sun lounger. And probably what they mean is they didn't get a sun lounger right by the front of the beach or right on the pool front. But there are plenty of beach loungers, just maybe not in the prime spot, if you get what I mean. And unfortunately, that is a first come, first serve mentality. If you're off early, you're going to get those prime spots. But, we arrived after everyone because there was a thunderstorm in the morning. So we got quite late off the ship to the island. And we were a couple of spaces away from the waterfront. We had a bit of a table and some loungers. I think I had a day bed at one point. We didn't struggle type of thing. It's just, first come, first serve. And it's so big, I can't see how. It's just you may not be right where... Because basically when Virgin take over anyway, they have a DJ stand.
Right.
And the DJ's playing music there, basically. And obviously during the daytime, it's a bit more relaxed, chill, kind of like that Ibiza chill vibe.
Yeah.
And then around about 1, 2 p.m.-ish, it starts to kind of get a bit livelier, a bit busier. And then all the happenings cast, who are the entertainment team on Virgin, they kind of come out and they dance basically on kind of podiums around the pool, and they do kind of inflatables, and they get the mermaids to come out and swim in the pool with you type of thing. They call it the float out. So they have like a float out party, which is just, it's a cool vibey thing, really. And that's the only way you can explain it, is a vibey thing. It's not anything like groundbreaking. It's just a cool vibe. You sat there floating in the water, drinking a cocktail, and they're dancing on and there's a mermaid floating past you, yeah.
Yeah, there weren't spaces at NCL's Island. There was none.
No. Well, they're doing a big, massive investment, didn't they? So
yeah.
I don't know how much they're spending, but like there's this new arms race that's been developed now. So all the cruise lines, and I think it is basically Royal Caribbean's fault, because before you kind of had beach island resorts where they were just pretty much, here's a beach and you could do some, water sports and paddling and things like that. And then Royal came out with Perfect Day CocoCay. And I think everyone else was like, oh, right, okay, there's clearly a demand for this now. People want that elevated private resort experience on their cruise extension. So obviously then Disney decided to buy their second island. And then you've got, who was it? Who was the second? MSC, wasn't it? They were the ones who came then with their Ocean Reserve, I think, or Ocean Marine Reserve. They then built their island and built that up type of thing. And that became really popular. And it became a reason people were picking MSC. And now Carnival have done their Celebration Key, and they've invested millions in that as well to give that a giant new pool and a resort-like experience. And now NCL have announced recently they're going to follow suit as well, and they're going to beat Royal Caribbean's record for the tallest water slide in North America as well.
God, they want to be careful with these water slides, don't they, with recent news?
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody saw it, a hole appeared in a slide this week. Have you heard any more on that?
No, I saw another video because it seems like everyone somehow was magically filming that slide as it happened. But I did see a video of how it happened, and the person quite literally went down the drop slide. He cleared the slide, but it must have cracked under him because apparently he has had some lacerations to him as he's down his arms and his legs. But he seems like he hit it, and that's what caused it to crack and shatter. So they've closed it on Star of the Seas indefinitely. So they're not using on Star of the Seas, and obviously they've wrapped up the section that broke on Icon of the Seas, and obviously it's not being used now anyway because they need to repair it if they are going to ever open it again. But they said they're pending an investigation to see why it happened, and is it a design fault, a manufacturing fault, or an installation fault?
You wouldn't want to be the person that designed that slide, would you?
No, and that's what not scares me. These slides are built by companies. It's not like Royal themselves when we're going to build a slide. There's another company that would have designed these slides and would have signed off all the science behind it type of thing with Royal Caribbean. So it's serious. I'm not dismissing what happened, but someone somewhere has done either something wrong, the wrong material choice. It was not treated properly, so it's cracked in the sun. I don't know what it is. Something's gone on to cause that to happen, if you get what I mean. And I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it one day.
But I mean, that child could have fallen through it. That's the scary thing.
Yes, children could go on it, but this is an adult slide. This is like the most thrilling slide on it. It's a drop slide that drops you down quite a fast drop type of thing. So you're primarily going to find, older kids and adults are going to be on it. But yeah, these ships are adding more and more slides. I think, isn't it 8 on the Icon class?
Yeah, but they're really strict, aren't they? Because you have to be a certain weight to go on these slides. So you can't be overweight on them. They're really quite strict. The only fault, one of my faults was, Jesus Christ, can you imagine if that was over the sea? Can you fall into the sea?
Do you get what I mean? I think it's going to put the fear of, into a lot of people who are going to be scared, I think, to go on these slides now. Because it's going to make me think twice if it goes over the edge. And I've always been a bit apprehensive about going over the edge type of thing, especially drop slides.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a drop slide person. I would have done the NCL one, but obviously no one was allowed on that because there was obviously a design flaw where people got stuck on it. But it just showed, but the thing is, it's with everything, isn't it? It's an accident and it's a freak thing. It's unlucky. And I feel sorry for the brand because they're quite diligent, aren't they? Well, they're very diligent.
Well, we were saying, I feel for Royal Caribbean's PR department these last 2 weeks because they have had the ride of their lives type of thing. Because obviously there was that guy.
No pun intended.
I hate talking about negative things, but obviously there was the 2 people who went overboard on Icon of the Seas type of thing within the space of a week of each other. That was obviously awful. And one of the circumstances was terrible for the one person, the crew member who jumped off the ship type of thing. Yeah. That was awful for them. Then they obviously went into the situation with the water slides on Icon. He did
attack someone before he fell off, though, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he jumped off to avoid being caught, basically, because he attacked someone. Then there was the guy on Hideaway Bay who was leaning over the edge of the pool. He was an idiot. He was drunk.
Did that go off the ship?
Yeah, he did. He fell off the ship as well. Which, that's a distance to fall. How he survived, again, is a mystery. But yeah, he jumped off the edge of the ship as well. Then, obviously, the Icon slide incident. Then they were launching Star of the Seas and having all the influencers who are currently sailing on Star of the Seas at the same time as the accident on Icon of the Seas happened. And now Diana Ross has pulled out of the godmother of Star of the Seas as well. So
why is that? Why is she pulled out?
Nobody knows at the moment. She's just pulled out literally, I think, like 2 or 3 days before it was meant to happen. She's pulled out of being godmother for Star of the Seas. So to all the people in Royal Caribbean's PR department, we love you and we're thinking of you at this difficult time.
And we would happily be godparents.
Yeah. I see. We are available, type of thing.
If you want 2 crazy podcasters, we're here and ready.
But I literally, all this week, I kind of just go, I'm feeling for your Royal Caribbean's PR team because you're going to be working overtime very sleeplessly trying to promote a new ship and also deal with the PR fallout of everything that's happening.
Do you know what they need to do? They need to draft in Aldi's PR team because they are. If you're in America, just follow Aldi UK because the PR team are just, there must just be a set of geniuses in a room. And I think they keep them secret probably just so they don't get poached. But,
but yeah, it's a tough time type of thing. I think it's nothing worse, I think, than having the launch of your next ship being overshadowed by a lot of negative. There was a big fight as well, 2 big fights apparently, one on the ship and one on Perfect Day as well. Like
from Star of the Seas?
I don't know which ship was on. I think it was on Icon again, but
you know what this is? It's the short booze cruise.
Well, that Icon doesn't do short cruises. That's the thing. So I don't. Icon 7 night sailings. Yeah. So I honestly don't know what it is. I've seen all these news stories.
School holidays. It sends everyone mad.
Think so. I think it's hot weather. People paying a lot of money as well, and I feel like there's a certain degree of when people pay a lot of money to go on something, they feel entitled to certain things, and obviously if they don't get their own way or they don't see people they like doing things, it makes them react a certain way. So there's a lot of that goes on as well. And I see a lot of this stuff happening. Unfortunately, it's becoming more and more prevalent. There's obviously a lot of like double standard going on where people are saying, why is it that Carnival gets held over the barrel every single time a fight breaks out? Yet Royal has had all these incidents and nobody's really highlighting it. How long have you got to dissect that?
Is it because all the people banned from Carnival go to Royal Caribbean?
They've been kicked out of the VFIP program. So they're all becoming diamond now on Royal instead.
I think it's been weird because they've sent all these influencers that never go on cruises.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of backlash, apparently. I've not seen it, but Donna was telling me. And a lot of people are upset and they're only ever going to go on a cruise once because it's free. And they're not really sharing what people want to know. So they're obviously reaching, but I get it. They're reaching an audience that don't cruise. But what about the audience that do cruise? Who's there to represent them? And I've not seen anything.
It's a funny one, this whole, because I've had a lot of thoughts about it, because they did it was 500 influencers were invited on for a shakedown cruise. And I think what we need to kind of get across to people is this is a shakedown cruise. The ship technically isn't sailing. It's not an official sailing. It's a shakedown. So a shakedown is a test cruise ultimately. And typically what brands do is they will usually use those shakedown cruises to test things like, are the water parks running properly? Is the hot water running? It's also a case of as well, Ryan, this is a really niche nerdy thing, but cruise ships, it's impossible for them to test that the flushes work on a cruise ship as well. So the only way they get a chance to test all these things is on shakedown cruises. So that's why before they officially launch, they put influencers on and they put travel agents on so they can test the mechanics of the ship, make sure that the showers are all working properly, make sure toilets flush properly, food is hot enough when it gets served type of thing, because a paying guest isn't going to want to be the guinea pig for that
and
stuff.
I think that's great. I think you don't want to pay and go on and there be a problem, do you?
Exactly. Yeah. And I get both sides. I get that it's frustrating that you've paid $6,000 to be the first, and you feel almost as if that's been taken away from you by somebody who maybe hasn't earned it in the same way you have. But you're benefiting from those people as well, because they are the guinea pigs for the ship. They're the ones testing that everything works properly, and they're testing the system before you get on board. And that's how they can then fine tune these things. Is the sound too loud in this venue and all that type of stuff? So these influencers, don't get me wrong, they've had a lovely time and they do get, access to things that the rest of us don't get access to. But not everything was open. Not everything was ready to work. I heard loads of stories about this venue hasn't been opened yet and is not going to open until the public sailings, because they know it works as a shop type of thing. So this swings around to both sides of it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see it, because I'm interested to see whether it's a step too far for me, or if it is Oasis my level. Are you going on Starling?
No, I'm not going to stand on a Legend though next year, but I have literally.
I would like to try Legend. I would like to try
every inch of every bit of footage that's come out so far. I think I know all 500 people who were on the influencer trip, because I've watched everything they put out. I am so obsessed with this ship. I think it's going to be incredible. And I've seen new venues that I hadn't spotted that were on Icon, because I've watched different. That's the interesting thing. Watching different people who experience the ship in different ways. They're pointing out things that cruise influencers maybe don't point out, if you get what I mean. Like random shops that, cruise influencers aren't going to mention because they're never going to shop in that shop type of thing, but a general sailor will type of thing. So that's been interesting for me. And
they're not cruise influencers, are they? They're influencers. No,
so some I've watched have been, or they're travel influencers with massive following.
Yeah,
so they may never cruise.
A different audience to people, and then so that's my point. I mean, I'm an influencer. I've done influencer trips. So I'm not against them, and I think it's a great way for people to see the ship. But my point is that they don't. They're there. The people that are travel influencers and influencers of TikTok and whatever, and they're all, they're amazing. They work really hard, but they don't know what a cruise audience wants to see. So they're there to attract the non-cruise audience.
100%, yeah. Because they had from High School Musical, there's the one girl, I think Kelsey her name is, or she was Kelsey in High School Musical, and her entire content was just her doing dances on random parts of the ship. And I was like, that's great. I learned nothing about Star of the Seas.
How old is she now, though? I mean, she's
it's of my age, probably.
I mean, what, 40? You're not 40, are you?
Yeah, no, yeah, early 40s she must be.
I mean, not that you can't dance at 40, because you definitely can.
No.
But it's not like she's going to be doing the splits and cheerleading, is it?
And I was a little bit like, this is low-hanging fruit. You could do this in front of your bathroom mirror. So why are you being invited onto the hottest ship launching this year to do this? But Royal's PR is very different from all the other cruise lines. Royal do this. They invite lifestyle influencers on, and they invite, celebrities on, Jojo Siwa and people like that, because that's the audience they want to get into. It's a market that the typical cruise influencers don't attract.
Do you know what, though?
That's a good and a bad thing.
Our friends, really good friends, and he likes YouTube, and obviously I'm obsessed with it at the moment because I'm building my craft channel. And I get it now. I never got it before. But he bought, a silly money price fridge, And it's amazing. It does everything. You can talk to it. It's got a telly on it. It's amazing. But he bought that purely off the back of an influencer.
Yeah.
And it just shows the influence people can have to convince you that you
100%.
need something. And I think that's with the same with these people on Royal Caribbean. It's subliminal. So the ship's in the background.
Yeah. And that, to be fair to Royal, I think that's what they want. They don't really love the traditional influencer market, if you get me. They're not fans of it. Like they work with that sector because that is part of the industry. But other brands love that type of coverage. Royal much prefer people going on and just having a nice time and saying, "Oh, me and my family are doing this. We've eaten this. We just happen to be on a cruise. We happen to be on Perfect Day CocoCay." They don't want.
It's more authentic though, isn't it? Because if you look at, there are some people that just travel round free on free ships, and we pay for our cruises, and Donna, and so what we are sharing is what we are getting as a customer, and sometimes you can't rely on that. I mean, there's some people that are amazing at it, but the people that are paying for the experiences, they're the people that are going to share the authentic experience.
Yeah. I go out of my way. Whenever we're hosted, I ask the question of, is this something a regular guest would have?
Yes.
So it was like when we went on Wonder of the Seas, for example, we were given a glass of champagne when we arrived, and I'd never been on Royal before. So I was like, does this happen every time? Is this normal? Or is this because we're on a preview sailing? And they were like, oh yeah, no, not everybody gets it. I was like, right, I won't tell anybody I've had this free glass of champagne then. Because as much as I'm there to enjoy it as a perk of my job, I'm also there to show customers the reality of what happens on these things as well. So I don't want to give any of my customers a false sense of, this is what you're going to get, but I'm getting it because I'm a travel agent. Like all the free gifts that I get in the cabin on an inaugural because I'm on the preview sailing, I'm not going to I'm going to mention them, but I'm not going to say like, look at all this stuff you're going to get, because that's, as you say, that's not authentic. That's not what everybody gets. That's what the lucky few that get invited to these things get, type of thing.
On the MSC, NCL, like we got a really good present every night, me and Donna. We used to be like, after a few drinks, like every night would be really giddy when we got our present. But and
it's lovely, isn't it? It's lovely to get them, and you do feel valued by a brand, like, and that's why they do it. But some influencers, that is what they're influencing, of look what I've got because of how important I am, and others are a bit like, that's a perk because of this, but that's not the product.
I don't share stuff like that.
A sideline.
But I mean, I'd rather go on and pay and talk about my experience, and that to me is more real. But going back to the champagne, I mean, on our first few cruises on Princess, that was a thing. Everybody got a glass of champagne when you got on. The captain would be stood there giving,
really,
and all his team, all the officers giving out champagne. That's how it used to be. So back different these days.
You got to fight to get a free drink now, haven't you? To be fair, on to Princess, on our sailing, we got on formal night. They were offering champagne if you were able to get one anyway. So you could, I would say champagne. Sparkling wine, as I like to call it, was available.
Oh, I've digressed again.
I say. The last one then, I guess, that I've been on was Castaway Cay, Disney's private island, which is very, very different. I like to think of her as not the OG, because she's not. I think Half Moon Cay is the OG private resort, but I think she was the OG island, as in she is a complete island, whereas others were a peninsula of a larger island. So that offers us something really unique, and I think that's what gravitated me towards it, was the fact that Disney owned their own private islands. It's a 100-year lease. They've got the island for 100 years. It's really cool. It's so cute, and it's so lovely to go on a typical beach holiday. And again, I normally aren't a fan of sitting on a beach, and I'm not a fan of kind of that whole being harassed constantly as you're on the beach type of thing. But if you're a family, you've got the little inlet that overlooks where the ship is. That's been, what's the word? They kind of net that off. So obviously wildlife can't get into the swimming area where the kids are going to be playing, so it's all protected. They do stingray touch experiences as well. So there's a special area cordoned off where they have baby stingrays that the kids can go in and feed and touch and things like that. They do snorkeling, and when you go to snorkeling, you can find things underneath the ground. So they've got one of the old ride vehicles from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea there. You can kind of go snorkeling and see. There's a statue of Eric, which if you've watched The Little Mermaid and you know she's under the sea and there's that statue of Eric, you can actually go and see a statue of Eric under the sea as well, type of thing in the private island. There's loads of little things like that in there. They've got Mount Rustmore, which is what the famous landmark, which are all giant like water buoys that they've kind of decorated to look like the Fab Four, the main characters from Disney. There's creche on the island as well. So if you kind of want to put your kids into the kids club, you can do that on the island as well. And it's all handled the same way they do it on the ship. So you've got kind of that daycare service on board. They bring all the crew off to do a barbecue. So that's how the food's managed. You get a barbecue that's available from around, I think, like 11 until about 2-ish off the top of my head. And then they also have the Serenity Bay, I think it's called, which is the adult-only beach as well. So on the opposite side of the island, they have an adult-only beach as well. It's not as curated as the main family-friendly beach, so it's a bit more kind of natural, where you're going to find probably a bit of seaweed in the beach, and it's not kind of as they don't clean the sand as much, if you get what I mean, to make it as less debris and things like that. But again, it's got its own bar there and everything. It's right next to actually where the adult barbecue is, so it's quite easy to get to kind of that space as well. But just lovely to sit there and have your own little adult-only beach on a family-friendly beach like Disney as well, a product like Disney. I loved Perfect Day, Castaway Cay, sorry. It was so cool.
Is it like staying at Disney? Like, is it like, is the theme in Disney?
The idea of it is, it's meant to be an abandoned island that Disney just happened to call at, if you get what I mean. So a lot of the theming is kind of, they've made buildings out of, not debris so much. It doesn't look like debris, but it's kind of like the natural. They found all these, they built them, but they found all these huts, if you get what I mean. So the shop is like a beach hut, if you get what I mean, that they've kind of turned into a shop. There's very few buildings. It's very naturalistic looking. It's not, because they've obviously made it this way, but it looks very naturalistic type of thing. It's just such a lovely, relaxed way to do it. Unfortunately, you don't get long enough there. You dock in around about, to get off the island first, to be the very first people off the island, you've got to do the 5K run. So I volunteered to the 5K run because I think I was awake at 6 o'clock. The second I felt the thrusters reversing in, I was like, we're here! Quick! I was wide awake type of thing. So I decided to join the 5K run. And you don't have to run it. You can walk it. I think I'd done 23 minutes because I just walked the entire way around it type of thing. But they've got this nature trail you can walk around anyway. But to be off on the island before 9 o'clock, you've got to do the fun run. Or back when I did it anyway, you did. And that's fun. You got a completer's medal at the end of it as a bit of a fun activity type of thing. But we saw adults and kids doing it. So it's 2 laps around the nature trail. There's water stations dotted everywhere type of thing for you. It's just really, really cool to do that. So we did that. And then we were off the island first. But by the time we finished, everyone was off anyway. So it was a bit pointless, but it was just fun to do.
I think I'd like to do it just because I love the whole Disney theming. And I think that would be for me. But then I need to try a Disney cruise as well, just because I want to go in these theme bars.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about it. It's just very lightly themed. You know, Mickey's there waving at you type of thing. And you got in his swimwear, you got Minnie there waving at you, Goofy, various characters type of thing on the island doing meet and greets. It's just fun. It is so much fun and it's so nice and relaxing. And the 2 experiences, well, the 3 of them, it's the most relaxed I've ever felt at a beach holiday anyway, because everything was taken care of. I didn't have to worry about the drinks because they were part of my cruise key card or my cruise package type of thing. The food sorted, you just go and help yourself, and there's tons of choice. Virgin's food's incredible as well. It's very authentic. You're getting like Bohemian curries and rice and peas and things like that. You're getting jerk chicken. Their food, I really loved what Virgin did with their food offering. The others are barbecues, basically. Like Royals is a little bit more cruise food, but it's like barbecues, hot dogs, things like that. Definitely Disney's is a barbecue as well, but the food's great type of thing to have. It's just a really lovely way to spend a day.
So you're making me think I want to do one now.
I think you'd be quite surprised by the newer style island. I don't think you'd enjoy. I think like you'd appreciate Castaway Cay, but I think you'd probably get bored after a while because the beach is a sandy beach.
Yeah.
You'd probably go around, explore it, do the viewing tower like we did, maybe sit on the beach for half hour, and then you'd be a bit like, I'll go back to the ship now. But I think Perfect Day CocoCay you'd love, just because there's different sides to it. If you don't want to sit on the beach, you totally can go sit by the poolside if you wanted to. Or dare I say, if you wanted to cough up the money to go into the adult-only cabana area then and do that giant pool then by the adult-only area of Perfect Day as well.
I really want the bungalow, the one with it, you can just jump into the sea, really. So on the slide.
When we've made lots of ad revenue from the podcast, Sarah, we'll do it.
We'll do a podcast from there.
Listeners, that'll be when you know we're successful. When you find out we've booked a trip and we've booked one of the cabanas over the water. Perfect Day CocoCay.
So another random episode, but you know what? Cruising's totally random. Cruising's random, so are we.
Well, we keep debating, though, don't we, about turning this into a news podcast, but I don't think either one of us wants to kind of follow the news cycle too much. As much as we're aware of it and we talk about it quite a lot, I don't think we want to kind of be talking about all the negatives, because that seems to be what a lot of the news cycle does, doesn't it? Is talk about all the injuries and accidents and issues that are happening. And I think we both enjoy cruising more than that to kind of dwell on that side of things.
And I think you can't ignore it. It's an elephant in the room sometimes, like the stuff that's gone on the last couple of weeks. But I think it's important to talk about these things, but then it's also important to talk about all the positives. So that's why we do it.
All right. Well, I hope, guys, you found this episode interesting anyway. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about the private islands, I don't actually have any content on my website. I should have written my reviews for all 3 of these islands a long time ago, and I haven't. But if you want to know kind of what's included in your planning a holiday and you want to just know which islands are included in some of the Caribbean cruises, then I definitely can help you. I do know, even the ones I've not been to, I know a decent amount about them anyway to help you. You can find me online everywhere under magical-traveler.com, and all my social media is magical_TRVLR. And then Sarah, I believe, have you got any content? I think you've written something, haven't you, about
we have
islands?
got one, but it's outdated. I'd say it's something we wrote many years ago.
Brilliant. We'll link them below anyway, guys, because we're always really bad at remembering where you can find us, but you can check the links in the description as well if you want to. The other one as well, if you have enjoyed this episode, we're really bad at asking this, but could you please leave us a review on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, just because it tells us platforms you've enjoyed it. As much as they pay attention to how much of the podcast you actually listen to, the reviews are what they actually use to recommend it to people, so it would be appreciated if you could. And if you watched it on YouTube, definitely give us a like and a comment, just to let us know what you've enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.